Factual evidence, we can see that the first man and first woman came from there, being that's the heart of everything. You know what I'm saying? Before all of Africa was called Africa, it was called Ethiopia first. You know what I'm saying? You can see evidence of this, like we stated before on the show, of an old map. Ancient map, popular ancient map. You see one of the old maps in your little office you're going to, or your job, or you at the streets, you'll see the Atlantic Ocean used to be called the Ethiopic Ocean. And that was in reference because it touched the west coast of Ethiopia, which is the present west coast of Africa. So that's one of the evidence right there that you can see day to day in life, you know what I'm saying, just seeing that on there. So the cradle, like you said, the cradle of civilization, the cradle of the Nile River is the source of all people coming from there. That's one of the facts I wanted to get into, just to show the significance about Ethiopia, the origin of man, you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, even in the Bible, you know, itself, it speaks very early on in Genesis about how Ethiopia was basically, it describes it as the land of Cush. As we all know, names tend to change over time, but in the Bible, at least the King James Version, it's known as Cush, but it's really speaking in reference to Ethiopia, speaking about how the Garden of Eden, the river that flowed through it was basically parted into four, and one of those rivers, you know, was went through Ethiopia. So, you know, either way, that's a reference point for you, you know, just to justify once again why we do honor Ethiopia and why it's of special relevance, especially to Africans. But at the end of the day, it's really to everybody, because like we say, we all know it as my boy just said, as the origin of all mankind. So.
Yeah, we just observing our culture and, you know, heritage, being that, like you said, all mankind originated out of Ethiopia, Ethiopia South, you know, that ancient Tawahadu. So,
Straight up. So that's just relating, like we said, it's showing the significance of the land of the emperor. You see, this is a Coronation Day special. We're talking about November 2nd, 1930, the coronation popping off right now today. You know what I'm saying? So seeing the significance, we got to see the land. What make, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of kings and queens throughout the time. But what about the land and the domain that they ruling? You know, we seeing one of the biggest facts, like I said, the origin of man. Number two, what I want to get into to show the significance of Ethiopia is the royal blood, which is displayed through Emperor Haile Selassie I. The royal blood. The Ethiopia Tawahadu had kingdoms and queendoms on record now, reigning before any European empires thought about cranking up. And that's real shit. On record now, this shit is on factual proof. It had kingdoms and queendoms reigning before any kind of European empires even thought about coming, you know what I'm saying? Kingdoms such as, like you said, Kush, the Kushites. The Kushites, you can look up the ancient history, the Kushites, you know what I'm saying? The Ethiopian Kemetic Kingdom, you know what I'm saying? Nubia, Meroe. These are all ancient kingdoms that set up, you know what I'm saying? Basically, out of these kingdoms, such as, and others too, I'm just giving you a sprinkle few that reign. Out of these kingdoms and queendoms came the foundations of civilization and its internal and external operations. Basically, how we see nations that are ran today, how cities are ran, and their government structure, they're all based on things, ideologies, and concepts that were created during these kingdoms.
Just like even just today, man, they had like some kind of elections and voting going on today. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no coincidence that, you know, it's the very same day of the coronation of the king, you know. This the day they choose to elect new city officials, new government officials. Every first week in November, the first Tuesday. Yeah, so
third day of the week, first Tuesday. So just coming through that, like you said, and they just to show you that, like you said, all those concepts came off of, like I said, came out of these cities, out of these civilizations. The ancient Ethiopian Kemetic community. You know what I'm saying? Spirituality, mentality, physicality, all concepts coming out of that. Ancient Meroe. Concepts coming out of that that's still being used to this very day. It's your boy, Yourhighness, my nigga, AKA White Rainment. You know what I'm saying? So the royal blood coming out of these kingdoms and queendoms that we see that the foundations of civilizations, like I say, how they ran internally and externally came out of these, the concepts. Ethiopia also has the longest reigning monarchy. You know what I'm saying? known to man, of 3,000 plus years old. And that's only on record.
That's on record.
That's only on record. Imagine the shit that ain't even on there, that they don't even talk about. You got to go deep into Ethiopia to really see the real history of this shit. Because the crackers trying to hide the shit from niggas, you know what I'm saying? Y'all already know what time it is, man. We on this bitch every Tuesday, 11 o'clock p.m. live. Bright House 950, Verizon Channel 30, Comcast 20, tbcn.org. And it's going to repeat Friday morning, that's Thursday night at midnight, 949 Bright House, Verizon 36. It's 813-254-7820. Get at the gods now, man. GMRNStv. So you, like I said, Ethiopia has a long and reigning monarch. This only on record we showing 3,000 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Up to the emperor. And right now, the emperor still governs the land because he wrote the Ethiopian constitution.
Oh, yeah. That's
you know
like
what I'm saying?
The script says.
So that show you.
Shall forever be upon his
Yeah,
shoulders.
forever. It said, king shall reign forever. Ethiopia is still governed by the principles of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I because he wrote the Ethiopian constitution. And that is the foundation of the law of government structure with Ethiopia right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's to show you that the emperor, his wisdom, has brought forth and governed. We talking about the significance of Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying?
What it is, you live on that SIU Tab.
H, what it do, homie?
Yes, sir. What it is, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the coronation. But first, you know what I'm saying? Yourhighness, I see you out there. I see you out there, boy.
Yeah.
And of course, you know that nigga Gizzle. What's up, boy?
What it do?
And you know we got special family in the house. Churchslayer, I see you out there, nigga. I see you.
Blessed, King.
Hey, what's up? Well, you know what I'm saying? Number one, east of the NaZZed River, it's called the Niga people.
The Niga
In the
people.
Ethiopian language, the word for king is Nigus Nigas.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I got to explain it to the people, you know what I'm saying?
King of Kings, go on and explain it to him, man. King of Kings, need goose, need goss. Drop the real shit on him, man.
You know what
People
I'm saying?
playing out here.
Ethiopia, Tawahadu, it's the realness, you know what I'm saying? But of course, November 2nd, 1930, the power, the source, King Haile Selassie the first JAH
Rastafari.
Before I bite into the nice topic, I want to holler at my boy Churchslayer. You know, a lot of times I call the show and I talk to my fellas, and it's like this, you know, a lot of niggas, they don't know who they are. They don't know what they need, Churchslayer. They don't know about ourselves. They don't know about SIU. You know, they learn about Babylon history. They know about Christopher Columbus, William the American, you know what I'm saying? But that's a whole different show, right? They know about that, Churchslayer, but they don't know about ourselves.
Yeah.
How can we educate these brothers?
All right, that's real, brother. That's what we out here to do, no doubt.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to educate these brothers. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes, sir.
how can we drop that ourselves on these brothers?
Well, for one, I mean, they gotta really, it's really on them though. That's what makes it so hard, you know what I mean? Because any type of knowledge that anybody ever has, they know it because they themselves have gone out and attained that knowledge. You can only try and teach somebody something, but they themselves have to grasp it and know it by trying it. You know what I mean? And actually experimenting with that knowledge on their own.
Right.
To see where the limits of it are, you know what I mean? How true it is, you know, when it isn't true, those types of things. So it really makes it hard to spread the word in that sense, besides you just leading by example. You know what I'm saying? By you yourself speaking about knowledgeable things amongst your people. You know, and by you living your life the right way, that's really the only way you can teach a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and at the same time, that's really only if the person has his eyes open for him to even notice what you're teaching.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you might be doing the right thing, but if somebody's mind is just on, if they're that locked in on Babylon, they don't even see what you're doing. So regardless, your work is useful.